So I thought I'd do a sort of um, different living my gimmick today, uh, and do one that's that shows a little bit of my mindset in a way. Like when I was a kid, I didn't necessarily play in the same way that that other kids did, and then and it's like kind of a weird way of stating things, but um, this down here makes it easier on me. So um, so when I was a kid, I played like episodic type stuff, like like I was always like had cliffhangers with my toy stories, and they had to be set a certain way. That's one of the reasons why I hated when somebody went in my bedroom, because it's like you can't disturb it. Like this guy's waiting to be rescued or something like that. So I was really weird as a kid, like how I played with it. Just full stories and stuff. And also one of the things I also did a lot when I was a kid. Let's go over here. Is when we played games or video games, and this goes back to when we had one of those shaking football games where the players shake. I always kept records of it. Every game I played with people, I kept records of it, even if they didn't know I was keeping records or not. And so, like, if you go like here, if you ever look at my videos when I do this type of thing, I got a folder that says game records, and that's basically all my game records from like all the games I played, like 2K baseball, arena football games, bowling trips with friends when I was mainly at this college. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and it like exploding kittens, even like guillotine. My high school games I played in or didn't play that much in, but like I have all this stuff, like Uno, all this stuff, and it's basically that's why when people who get to know me and work with me on more personal basis to see that I like making lists and I like having things out and stated. It's just the way I am, and like I'll give you an example of one here, because I was planning on doing something to it today. Like if you go on my MLB, which is MLB the show, though a better one would even be to look at the football one. So let me pull up the football one. That might be, we'll talk about whichever one comes up first. NHL, NFL. It is. We'll pull that one up. Have that one probably come up first. So like I've always kept records, and like I said, for my football one, it's been back since that shaking football game that we had as a kid, and I kept records. And then when we moved on to like John Elway's quarterback or Madden and stuff like that, I always kept records of Super Bowls and stuff like that, and also the records. One caveat is that I had a listing of the records from wins, like Super Bowl wins for my football. I had all those. When I moved to Florida, the book I had that had all the actual like yardage and stuff that players would get and all that, it got lost. Which sucks because Bo Jackson wouldn't have every record knowing the man then, because everybody knows like those techno Super Bowl games, like Jackson ruled all those. But like if you look like here, and you can go all the way up, my computer runs good now, it has all these records, and then it has the divisions and titles and stuff like that, and the times that we took it, yeah, and the times that we've kept it. And there's times when like I wasn't the one that was running it. A friend of mine started doing it for a while, when I wasn't playing football games for a while, he was like, "Oh, can I add my records to yours?" And I was like, "Okay." So some of the stuff's like his, but if you look right, like I'm pointing towards stuff, but like here's 49ers Oilers. That's my cousin Steve Williams. He's like, that was his, like, won a Super Bowl one year with the Oilers here. So like you got all these records, and then you go down here, which is more like around the era when the Texans first started, because I was playing with them a lot. And then like the Bears and the Raiders are some of my favorite teams. But here's when I moved the Redskins. I started moving them every game I play in. And now with Madden, I move that franchise because they don't need to be a Redskins franchise. Fuck the Redskins. So I moved them, and you got the Bulldogs, which were the Richmond Bulldogs most of the time. So you see records with them where I won Super Bowls or they went on their own. Like here I actually, like, I'd play with them, then I'd go back to the Raiders, and here. But you get the point, like, and these are just like one thing we would always do when we played Madden. Me played Madden is eventually I would move all the teams and I would make them into like World League teams, like the whole game, and then I would move on to a new version of like Madden. So here you got championships from that stuff, and then here you got awards, and I would kind of split it up in areas where it was easier for me to see, but you know you can look at all these like different quarterback awards, MVP. I made up my own awards like the Jerry Rice Award. But you can see all this stuff, and this goes back a long ways. And then like I had Vince Young because I run a lot with the quarterback. So I had Vince Young, he played for me for the Falcons, Rams, and Patriots. You look like he's the all-time rushing leader of quarterbacks, running backs, everybody. Like he has the most yards in my leagues, and like the all-time carries leader is Reggie Bush. And let me find another one. All times TD's leader, Reggie Bush. Like, you get the point. Like, that's how my records are when I play games. So if you see me streaming a game on like our streaming channel, like think that I'm all constantly thinking like, oh, I could break this record or that record. Yeah, I'm weird like that. And then you have it split up by divisions with just wins and stuff. And teams have gone undefeated. And then teams have gone winless. Only 3 have ever gone winless in my thing: Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Birmingham Thunder. But you get the point. Like, I'm weird, I know. This could almost be like, I thought, like, am I going to put this on Living My Gimmick, or am I going to put this on Testing and Learning, because I do these type recording, like, motion on here on Testing and Learning, but I was like, this is my gimmick, part of my Living My Gimmick. And here's the baseball one. So I haven't been keeping track of the baseball ones as much because like you can play like 5 or 6 football seasons in time it takes you to play one baseball season. I still wish these like MLB The Show would just let you shorten the seasons. I don't know why they won't let you do it. They can't say like, oh, you have weird records, because I could put it on rookie level and blow out every record on there. I don't know why they won't let you shorten the season. That might be a contract thing that they don't let you do that with. So, I don't know. We'll see. Sorry, I had a phone call I had to take. It's for my first time pausing this tool. I use this program. I forgot the name of it now. Oh, Active Presenter. And it helps me. I think you can see this little thing I'm scrolling. You might not be able to. But anyways, back to the records. So like on the baseball ones, I don't have as many because I wasn't keeping track for as long as I have been like the football stuff. Even though baseball is my favorite sport. But like here you have records, and we randomly integrated the actual records at the time we started doing this, me and a couple of friends of mine in high school. So you got to make real records and then newer ones, like the last MLB The Show, Angels beat the Dodgers in the World Series. I lost in the first round to the Cubs. But you also see, like, we haven't been keeping that long on the record. So you got MVPs like Ichiro, Andrew Jones, Morgan Ainsworth, or how you say it, Bonzo Siriano, and Willie Mays. And that was last year with Willie Mays. And Cy Young's here. And hitting records. So these are like the all-time hitting records. Like my all-time hit leader is Ichiro. And my all-time home run leader is Andrew Jones. I'm going to add the top 10 of each category in actual Major League Baseball. I'm probably not going to do it now. I'm going to go back to when I was a kid and probably like when I was in high school and take the top 10 from that time and add it on. And I got the Braves separate because every Brave that's on my team at the end of that year, I put them in the records. And then these are the only other people who get in my records is if you win one of the award categories, be it home runs or home runs, stolen bases. Even though I think I quit doing the stolen bases because I don't really steal bases, I hit home runs on my team. But wins, Ks, all that stuff, and that gets you into the record over here if you're not a Brave. And then same thing with pitching. You know what the Braves are on this thing. So you got pitching records, and then you got Braves pitching, and then the other ones. And then no hitters. I got one to add to this. So at the end of the season, I take the records and add them to them, of course. But Justin Verlander's pitched another part of the no hitter. So that was the first one I had thrown. I had a couple thrown against me. And then other records are like longest hit streak. Dale Murphy broke that last year. He's 43 games. Most home runs in the game. James Bean's got 3. That's the most I've hit in a game. And then longest home run hit was Andrew Jones, 484 feet. That's like a minor league park. Because the first year I played MLB The Show, I played in every single park. But lost a lot of money from my club because, like, yeah, that's not that good of a thing to do. But I thought people would get a kick out, like, a little bit of seeing this. And seeing, like, a little bit of the mindset and how weird I am about that type of stuff. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I guess I am a little weird about stuff like that. But I like having fun doing stuff like, that's what I like doing. Period.
Welcome to Tin Pod Radio.
The Trinity Prophecy by Marissa Kinzel with illustrations from Melissa McManus. Behind one of the trees at the opening, Neros spotted a figure. She was small, like him, and she had long hair that looked like green leaves woven together. Her skin blended with the bark of the tree she hid behind, and if not for her decorated dress and bright yellow eyes, Neros would not have noticed her. "You're blue," she said. The prince smiled. "I'm not blue, I'm Neros." The girl frowned, concealing herself further behind the tree. "No, I mean your skin, it's blue. And you flew down from that mountaintop all of a sudden. Where does it lead?" Neros looked fondly back up the mountain, though his town was shrouded by a white haze of falling snow. "At the top of the mountain is my home, Vitur. My father is the king, and today he said I'm old enough to explore Endra, all on my own." He smiled, placing his hands on his hips. The girl didn't look so impressed. "Endra is peaceful. Your king was smart to let you explore now, but you're dumb for leaving home." "What? Why?" "Because you have no means of protection." The girl came out from behind the tree, gesturing to Neros with open palms. "What on your person would protect you if I attacked you?" As if to prove her point, the girl stretched out one arm, summoning long limber vines from the tree's canopy. She sent them to wrap around Neros, constricting his body and pinning his arms to his sides as they slipped and circled his torso. The prince cried out in surprise as he was lifted off the ground and brought closer to the girl. "See, you're defenseless," she proclaimed, grinning in defiance. "How do you know that I won't kill you right here, right now?"
The Trinity Prophecy was written by Marissa Kinzeal. Our narrators are Journey Brown Saintel, Theo Holt Bailey, and Christian Marte. This audio adaptation was produced by Brian C. Williams and Marissa Kinzeal. The voice of Tin Universe is Stacey Taylor. For ebooks, webcomics, short films and more, head over to tinuniverse.blogspot.com.